Disclaimer. Available for limited time only. Glow-in-the-dark emotional support team and... Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lasses. Welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Did you also see that thing fly by the screen? That is indeed a glow-in-the-dark emotional support team. Available now for a limited time only. You should pick it up. It's very cute and you can do this. Absolutely beautiful. Do you know what else is beautiful? You are, but also r/FacePalm. Yes, indeed. One of my favorite subreddits. Absolutely beautiful moments that just makes us look at humanity and go something like, huh. Damn, it's really bad up in here, isn't it? And then we laugh about it together, and I do hope that you enjoy it. Mwah. Ooh, got a little pimple action going on here today. Isn't that beautiful? Feeling young. Let's get going, shall we? Chihuahua or Muffin? So here's just a collection of pictures. And you have to decide if it's Chihuahua or Muffin. Oh my god, I wanted like the almost bottom right. This is so derpy. This is like the ultimate captcha. I love this. This is so beautiful. Can we start doing captchas like this? Chihuahuas or muffins? God, I love this. Flat Earth Zone. I think I'm actually blocked by a bunch of the Flat Earth accounts on Twitter and stuff because I made fun of it too many times. Anyway, let's do it again. Today's challenge for Globe Earth believers. At least they didn't call us like globe slurs. Anyway, pick one. Just one. Number 1, show the curve. Number 2, show a real picture of Earth from space. 3, prove evolution. 4, prove gravity. Isn't that like really easy though? You can just like jump up or something. Oh, look! Gravity's real. Who would have thunk it? Prove that we're spinning on an axis. Prove we're orbiting the sun. Prove we're hurling through space. Prove the Big Bang. Prove the universe is expanding. Prove the distance to the sun. Prove the distance to the moon. Prove we landed on the moon. Show a real picture of a satellite in space. Prove space travel is real in a vacuum. You can't use NASA or government propaganda. I mean, some of this is just really easy. For example, distance to the moon, you can literally measure from just 2 spots on Earth and just draw a triangle, and as long as you have the angles, you can literally calculate the distance to it. It's basic geometry. Can't use NASA or government propaganda. Oh my god. I mean, the problem with any of these kind of requirements when it comes to any kind of pseudoscience is that it's very convenient with what is decided that you can't and can't use, and there's always an excuse. So for example, the burden of proof is never on the person who actually wants to prove that the Earth is flat, but the burden of proof becomes something completely different, where you also have a bunch of rules of what is dismissed and what isn't based on just random stuff. It's, it just goes in a circle, doesn't it?
Based anime guy. All trans people are P-words, degenerates, and cringe, and they suck. Me, based T-slur, trans, but no.
Later,
Kids are so hot if you don't agree you're a degenerate.
image of a little girl from some anime. This is just transphobic Twitter in a nutshell. I swear to God, it really do be like this. The projection game is really hard. Oh my god.
My high school boyfriend's wife just sent me this. We're 35 now. Blorp truly misses you. He and I have had many deep conversations, but in the end, he can never forget you.
Wait a second, so you're telling me that your ex and their current wife that they have been with for X amount of years has regular deep conversations about you, the husband's ex. This seems very made up, doesn't it?
He loves you and can never forget you.
I think the dude is the one writing this and pretending to be the wife, I'm gonna be honest.
He's settled for me. But in his heart, he truly doesn't want to be with me for life. He loves you. You hold his heart forever, and that will never change. He misses you to the moon and back. Please consider talking to him because he has opened up to the fact that he always truly loved you, and I was just the rebound.
Oh my Jesus Christ, this person either has like zero self-esteem, which is pretty sad, or there's just a husband impersonating his own wife to try to get his pretend wife to pick up his ex.
You may never read this, but I can't see him sad for this kind. I hope you talk to him in the future. He misses you with all his heart.
High school boyfriend's wife, and they're 35 now, so this is like a relationship that's almost 20 years ago. And you impersonate your own spouse to send this to your exes. Holy shit, this is wild. I mean, the reason I don't think this is actually the real wife writing it is that any adult that is 35 with any self-esteem would just leave their partner if they were still that obsessed by an ex, that's the kind of baggage that is a deal breaker for like 99% of people, you know? It's not believable, fam. 18 years old, about me, let's just get the hard stuff out of the way. Jesus is king, yeah, God is the goat, heck yeah. Male and female, that's it, you chose to be fat. Mental health is a figment of your imagination. If something someone says offends you, you're the problem if you can't just ignore it, you see? I can't possibly be a butthole. It's up to you to not think what I say is just unbearable. Feminism sucks! Sparkles! Okay, he's only 18. You know, a lot of people go through an edgelord phase in their teenage years. There is still hope, but... But like writing this on your dating profile, where you're supposed to present yourself as likable and fun to be around, and just a good vibe and someone you would want to have in your life. Holy shit! So in this little bio alone, we have like transphobia, we have fat-shamey stuff, we have mental health dismissal, we have like don't get so triggered snowflake stuff, and we have feminism sucks. And I'm assuming this person is trying to pick up a lady using these qualifying factors. Damn. If there's one thing I have never understood about people on dating apps is why they feel the need to like crap on people in the bio. Having preferences is perfectly fine, but there is a difference between communicating a preference or like swiping a certain way on certain people versus like just pooping on people you wouldn't match with anyway, right? It's just so weird, man.
If the sun exploded, we would only find out 11 years later.
How did you get to that conclusion?
It's a scientific fact.
Search it up. Yeah. And if you do Google it, as you can, like, how long does light take to reach Earth from sun? It's like 8 minutes something, 8 minutes 20 seconds, isn't it? 8 minutes 20 seconds exactly, I remembered it. Booyah, baby! You absolute badonkel, you're telling people to Google something when you yourself haven't Googled it in the first place! Oh my god! Sorry, microphone, I'm getting very upset and I'm taking it out on you. You have a very cute mustache. Elon Musk on X is speaking, live with Alex Jones, Elon Musk, Andrew Tate, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh my god, things are going great over on Twitter, isn't it? Wow. Vivek accidentally left the microphone on while using the bathroom at one point doing this. Wait a second. No way. No way. While Elon Musk and Alex Jones are talking today, Vivek interrupts the conversation by taking a leak on a hot mic.
Gentlemen, I have to go.
Yeah, I just want to be sort of, yeah, exactly. I want to be clear about my position. I'm super pro-human, and I mean all humans. You know, humans in America, humans in
Somebody's
Africa,
got their thing
Asia,
open.
and everywhere else.
That is amazing! I remember reading a story of a professor somewhere doing a similar thing when they had a microphone on, and they forgot they had a microphone still clipped on, so the whole like class could hear them like singing and peeing in the bathroom break. Absolutely astounding stuff. r/sugar program, looking for a sugar daddy or mommy. I am an M18 bisexual Latino looking for a sugar daddy or mommy to spoil me and maybe take my V card.
Hello?
This is a sub dedicated for cutting sugar out of our diets. You're not gonna find any sugar daddies in the subreddit that is cutting out the sugar out of your diet. My god. Drop the weapon! Gender police, pronoun unit, and gender police, and then we have middle school biology. Oh my god, this is such a bad meme. This is such a bad meme. One thing you realize about education or science in school is that it gradually gets more complex as you take more things into consideration. Like, if you ever remember, for example, physics class back in elementary school, you always just ignore, for example, air resistance, because air resistance is complicated, and it's difficult to teach, like, 12-year-olds about air resistance. Trust me, I've had entire courses about, like, air resistance and flow mechanics. It sucks. So, usually in education, you have this kind of logic that you apply something simplified first so people can understand the basic concept, and then you add more complexity as you go on. This is the same thing here.
My god, it's such a silly meme. Jesus Christ, just read higher biology then, you silly person. Mom's been asking for pics of my new room. Finally sent one. I am so stupid. Oh, nice. Except for the handcuffs. What's up with that?
Oh, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. So you know when you go to the pub to have a nice little beer poured, and you want to drink the beer, and you want to get the beer you pay for? Here is a beer. There is a pun in Swedish that is really good for this, which goes something like, det här glaset är ju lite skumt. Haha. Because in Swedish there is a word that means both foam and like fishy. So you can say that, there's something fishy about this glass, which is the same word as for foam, so it's like a pun. You're very welcome. I don't know what a cisgender is, but whatever it is, it shouldn't be allowed in front of children.
I still can't get over this tweet.
Why do people tweet stuff like this so confidently? And it's not even just randos with like an anime profile picture and 2 followers. It's like legit public figures just tossing it out there. If I just say this with enough confidence enough times, it becomes true. I mean, unironically, that sort of works, though. I mean, in some context, for example, if you're playing a music concert, my main advice is that just do it with confidence, because the people listening don't actually know what is right or wrong, so if you play something wrong, just own it and keep going, and people will think you're super smooth. When it comes to stuff like this, it's a little bit more embarrassing. r/no stupid questions. My son's 3rd grade teacher taught my son that 1 divided by 0 is 0. Okay, I can see the logic, right? Because teaching them about, infinity and numbers going towards infinity and that kind of stuff is difficult, so they just assign 0 because, like, you can't calculate it, right? But it's still very silly because it messes up their conclusion for this when they're gonna learn more math later on. I wrote her an email to tell her that it is not 0. She then doubled down and CC'd the principal. The principal responded saying that the teacher is correct. What do I do now? To be honest, I am mildly infuriated, but I'm wondering if I'm just overreacting. Should I just stop fighting this battle? This reminds me of the time in 2nd grade. One of the questions on a math assignment was something like 2 minus 5, and I put -3 as my answer, and it got marked wrong. In the margins was a note that since negative numbers aren't covered until a later grade, that I was supposed to mark the can't be solved box. Ugh. It made me so mad that I still think about it 46 years later. That happened to me too. The teacher told me I was wrong because if you had 2 apples and I told you to take away 5, you would have 0 apples, not -3 apples. I then failed the math test where negative numbers were introduced because I thought it was a trick again. Oh my god, it's so bad! I get the logic behind this kind of stuff because you don't want to make it too complicated too fast, right? It's the same kind of example as I explained with the air resistance, right? Sometimes you simplify reality for earlier educations because it's easier, but sometimes it's better to simply say you ignore it for now. Don't teach them something that is wrong. 1 divided by 0 isn't 0. Don't teach them that. If this is something that is deemed too complicated, just don't bring it up until it becomes relevant. Or if you do bring it up, do it as a side thing and be like, 1 divided by 0 actually goes towards infinity if you let the 0 get infinitely small, right? Because 1 divided by something that's infinitely small will be infinite, right? That's how it works. So you can mention it as a side thing and be like, we'll learn more about this in 2 years. There you go. Boom. Much better. What the is this? I remember having a similar problem when I did tutoring a bunch of years ago. One of my students was in high school, and they were having this math problem where they were learning about derivatives. But it wasn't actual derivatives. They were learning like a weird shortcut method that wasn't doing a derivative calculation, but instead it was something like, if you have a curve that is a 2nd degree curve, you cut it in half, and then you can find like the top value by cutting it in half. And it was a surprisingly complex method for something that is super specific that only works on a fraction of equations, instead of just letting them learn derivatives. So instead they spend a month learning this method they will never ever use again because it's technically too early to learn about derivatives, even though they learn about it 2 months later. It's like sometimes education systems just have these weird hiccups when they get stuck arguing odd things because it's too early to learn something, but they replace it with bullshit. I don't get it. Guys like girls who...
I'll burn that book, huh? Yes, queen.
Actually, when I was younger, my mom gave me this book, and it teaches young girls to love themselves before they worry about what guys think of them. It really helped 12-year-old me. The end of the book says, guys like girls who like themselves. The title is meant to catch the attention of self-loathing teenage girls because they're the ones who need to read it the most. So you all literally just judged a book by its cover. Go stand in the corner and think about what you did. Oh, Lemau! Oh my god, that's kind of funny. I do like this though. This is sort of wholesome rage bait, right? Because the people who actually pick up this book would be the people that need it the most. That's kind of cool though. I like that.
This freshman was like,
I can't find my class.
and we looked at his schedule, and he's at the wrong school. I'm so dead.
Oh my god, it's such nightmare stuff. When you're running late and you're like running through the corridors, you can't figure out the letter and number combinations at your uni, and you're not even at the right place. This is the equivalent of like having a nightmare where you go to school and realize you're not wearing pants. The Pentagon were unable to track $3.8 trillion of military spending. The US Treasury were unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. The Navy were unable to track where a 30 million F-35 fighter jet went. The IRS, you owe us 3.37, pay it right now or you're going to jail. Man, it really do be like that though, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit different here, where I live, but taxes are that kind of thing where sometimes it just feels ridiculous. I have had literal crimes happen to me in the past, and the authorities are like, no, we can't do anything about this. Like, what do you mean? You have the little tracking stuff here of this person who made the crime, and this stuff, and this. No, we don't see a need to do this. But then, if you miss $2 in like an invoice for your little business or something, then oh my god, you better be sure that hell is gonna rain down on you. I took that personal.
Lemo, I rejected this sweet guy various times. Then a couple of months later, he's dating someone new. I saw him on the train with her after school. Then once I got home, I cried.
What is this? Do you think the heart and emotions are a synonym for Monopoly with all the games you're playing? Why would you cry that someone you rejected moved on and found someone else? Wouldn't that be a relief? You know, you don't have to feel that you're not reciprocating something anymore. You know, I would probably feel good about that. It's like, hell yeah, I don't have to worry about this person being on my heels anymore. That sounds good. This is good. What are you doing?
What stands out to me the most is when she says he's dating someone new, like she dated him first. You rejected him, so he never dated you in the first place.
Is rejectionship a term?
Oh yeah, wasn't one of the words of the years literally situationship? I feel so old.
Oh my god, I'm in such a total rejectionship right now. Oh. Not one NFL player ran into the World Trade Center on 9/11. Remember that, cops did.
Both of these pictures are firefighters. What does the NFL have to do with any of this? What? A toddler burned his hand on a stove, so his parents took him to the ER. But after a long wait for a doctor who never showed up, they went home and the burn healed on its own. Then the hospital sent him a bill for $1,012. It was probably just the cost for signing into the hospital with a receptionist. That is absolutely outrageous. Oh my god.
I ran into my #1 spender on OnlyFans.
Oh, okay. What is that? $62,000. Oh my god. Spent 63 racks and she ain't even touched you for a picture. Yeah, #1 spender, not even like #1 fan or my #1 supporter. You spent $60,000 to be called #1 spender. Oh my god. 63K in a month? Wait, it's in a month. What? Subscribe for 1 month. Spent 62,000. Holy shite. I mean, the amount is absolutely bonkers, but I just assumed it was at least over, a 3-4 year period. At least 1 month. Holy shite, I assumed that it was over a long period of time. Didn't see the 1 month part. What the frick? I mean, you're basically done. If you can get one person like this to follow your page, that's your career right there. Oh, you can literally have one fan, and you're done.
Men, do yourself a favor. If you own an Android phone, wait at least 3 days before using it in front of her. I can't even count on my both hands how many stories I've heard from women that have curved the perfect man just because he had an Android phone.
This has 2,400 likes. I'm gonna be honest, if you pick dates based on the brand of phone they have, that doesn't seem like a very interesting date to begin with. Oh my god. The dogs must think we're amazing hunters when we come back with a car full of groceries. Aw, that's really sweet. It's not technically hunting though. Folks buy food with money, and it doesn't require the effort like actual hunting would. Learn! Oh my god, this is like when you crack a joke in a social setting, and someone comes in and be like, actually, and it's like, dude, you realize it's a joke, right? Oh my god, the whole joke is that they think we're good hunters but went to the grocery store. You just explained the joke condescendingly.
Has it occurred to Thomas that he might be the problem?
Surrounded by setbacks, surrounded by narcissists, surrounded by psychopaths, and surrounded by idiots. Oh yeah, I actually read the 2 first books in this series a while ago, Surrounded by Idiots and Surrounded by Psychopaths. I mean, the tweet is a bit funny and kind of sassy, but it also misses the point, and it's pretty obvious they haven't actually read the books. Surrounded by Idiots is mainly about personality types and how people miscommunicate and they can't relate to each other, that kind of thing. I mean, personality tests and that kind of stuff is always kind of under a lot of scrutiny because it's a very simplified thing. I think these books were also in a bit of hot water for spreading pseudoscience and that kind of stuff. So it's always a mixed bag with this kind of things. Like, some parts of the books I liked because it's just talking about their experience leading projects and that kind of stuff, and leadership and understanding that people think differently. Other parts of it, of course, put too much weight into these kind of simplified models about how people work. So it's always like, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but they're pretty entertaining. And Surrounded by Psychopaths talks about encounters with, well, psychopaths that went astray in various ways, if I remember the book correctly, and like in corporate contexts and that kind of stuff. So, interesting read, but, you know, they fall into that kind of category where it's like a mix between someone's experience and telling their stories and like pseudoscientific in one way because it takes these models and put a bit too much weight in them, you know. You can use personality traits to pedagogically explain things about large swaths of people, but it's never going to be super accurate about you as an individual because humans are too complex. So mixed bag, I suppose, but not perhaps the FacePalm because of what the poster thought it was. Although, half a gold star for the funny sass.
You don't understand scale. Use $50 to buy 10 tomato plants. In 6 months, you have 250 tomatoes. Plant those into 250 plants. 6 months, you have 6,250 plants. Plant them. 6 months, you have 156k tomatoes. Plant them. 6 months, you have 3.9 million tomatoes. Sell them all for $1 each. You see, in like 2 years, you have $4 million.
Rise and grind guy acting like farming is some kind of life hack to make infinite money. Are we just gonna pretend that you don't need, I don't know, massive farmlands to plant 3.9 million tomatoes? You know? Maybe it was just 156k tomatoes. I don't know, I think most people don't fit that in the pots in their window. And then to make the farmland in the first place, you have to process the land, you have to fertilize it, remove all the trees, which takes heavy machinery, you have to plant it, care for it, make sure bugs stay away from it, spray it, but then clean it off so the spray isn't bad, so you reach all like the health requirements for food, etc., etc. I mean, I guess this is supposed to be just a basic math example that is just scalability, but it's a very silly example. If you want to be pedagogical with something, you should talk about, for example, return on return. You know, that investing early on in your life in safe options is good because eventually you get return on your return and it like slowly becomes a slight exponential scale sort of. That's smart to talk about, like smart long-term investing. This ain't it, like condescendingly explaining to people basic multiplication with a botched farming example. I mean, honestly, it's about what I expect from financial Twitter, to be honest. And that's it. You are poor, you are unimportant, men do not fear you, your woman disagrees with you.
Picture I drew.
A picture says more than 1,000 words, and all of those 1,000 words are absolute burns. New York Post. Doctor reveals insurance companies want you to die as quickly as possible. This is great, but I didn't reveal anything. I just summarized the US health insurance business model. I mean, it makes sense. You know, the insurance business loses money if you need healthcare for extended periods of time. So of course they would want you to not get sick in the first place, but if you do, the quicker you die, the less expensive you are. So yay systems.
Homosexual people have the right to be in a family. They are children of God.
Pope Francis said in one of his sit-down interviews for the film.
He is not a true Catholic.
He is literally the Pope!
Maybe not a true Catholic. I think sometimes people are wired in a very funny way when their like mouth does things on their own, which the brain never agreed to. That's like the only excuse I have for this, because otherwise it will mean that the brain agreed to this, which makes it worse. This is heartbreaking. A woman in Warren, Ohio, has been charged with abuse of a corpse for trying to plunge a toilet after having a miscarriage at 22 weeks while using the restroom. That is
I swear to God, these kind of people should not be making laws. Oh my God, they don't understand like basic biology or anatomy or anything. It's absolutely insane. Like there is a reason you don't even proclaim to family members, for example, that you are pregnant before a certain time period, because miscarriages are so incredibly common before that time, you know? So that this should become a legal issue is absolutely insane. The dude just found out what makeup is.
This is Taylor Swift without makeup, giving you a glimpse into just how much women are lying.
Is this the normal picture of like Taylor Swift? How old are you? Did you just figure out the makeup is real? Oh my God, did you know that sometimes people make themselves look nice with like clothes or makeup or you know, hair gel and stuff? Ooh. Boom. The idea of alpha males is so funny, because guys really made up an upper class and then put themselves in it. Okay, if you're an alpha male, then I am a turbo dude. That is one level higher. You wouldn't understand because you're just an alpha. Sorry. I think the reason why this rhetoric is so popular is partially because it appeals to people that are a bit lost or a bit frustrated or might have experienced some sort of hardship with other things, or are just very disagreeable and just looking to like, I don't know, garner more influence, I suppose. And another part I've noticed with these specific things and talking figures that promote this is that they usually start off with a few nuggets that are kind of based in reality. It can be very basic tips, like, tips for young men. Stay in shape, be ambitious, make a decent chunk of money. You know, relatively easy tips that will make you look more appealing in many ways. You know, it's pretty basic stuff. But then it just goes completely off the rails. It goes off the rails of basic career tips or, you know, improvements or fitness or anything, and just takes it into this really wild black and white worldview that isn't really accurate. And that's a very dangerous way to get sucked down these rabbit holes, because usually how these people operate is that a few nuggets of truth, and that kind of leads you down the trail of the little crumbs, and then yippoo! And down you go. Transgender Sussex paramedic says patients refuse her help. Haha! Owning the libs by dying. I mean, that's just modern Darwinism, isn't it? We just have enough trans people in the healthcare industry, and people are like, I refuse help from this. The problem will just fix itself, right? God, that's so stupid. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson recently told people that he decided to watch Mona 2016 with his 4-year-old daughter Jasmine, and was extremely excited to reveal to her that he voiced Maui. I said, you know, that's Daddy's voice and I am going to show you. Maui starts singing and then I start singing. And within 10 seconds, she is trying to put a pillow over my mouth and says, "You're ruining the song!" Oh my God, no mercy from this kid. That is such a funny story, though. I like that. It's kind of wholesome vibes.
This is today's counterculture. What has punk become?
No hate, no bigotry, no racism, no colorism, no xenophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and so on. This is like, what do you mean, what has it become? Oh my God, they're not racist? Outrageous!
This is what punk has always been.
Lamau. I don't think these people realize what they're actually against when they, like, poop on stuff sometimes. Oh, they're not racist? Disgusting. Kinda telling on yourself there, dude, aren't you? Yikes.
It is shameful and sad that a hyper-promiscuous, childless woman, Taylor Swift, aging and alone with a cat, has become the heroine of a feminist age.
Taylor Swift, Person of the Year. This just reads like absolute salt. I've never understood people who are so weirdly upset about what, like, celebrities or public figure do with their life. Why do you even care? It's so weird.
She is fertile 24/7 too, and it's not his responsibility to protect your body. You are the one at risk of pregnancy, so it's your responsibility to handle your body and decide what choices to make.
Oh my God, no. You don't even know how your body works. At this point, I doubt you're even a woman. Women know how ovulation works.
Dude, do you really think there is a time a woman can't get preggo?
Oh my God, this person. Yeah, I don't think it's a woman either. There are literally apps in the App Store that track your cycles in an attempt to tell you, like, hey, when is it not risky to, like, do the deed, for example. You know, you should still use other means of protections and safety, of course, because this is never 100% accurate and can vary in hormones and different cycles and blah, blah, blah. But there is literal apps that do this, and it is very well known that this kind of stuff goes in cycles. So, Yvette, Twitter, you have done it again! Misinformation galore! Woo! A 16-year-old did the game over due to hate he received for his Instagram reel. These are the comments after he passed away.
Be a straight man, don't do this. The society's fooling you.
Shame on comment section, full of feminist and trans people and gay What? I thought that was going in like a wholesome direction first, like shame on this comment section, it's so hateful, but instead, that's where it went? Oh my god. Rest pin piss brother. You can't even spell in. You won't be missed.
It was his choice, not anyone else's fault.
You know, one thing that strikes me so odd about these kind of people is that it's so obvious they have either never experienced this kind of stuff themselves and are completely oblivious to what it means, or they're bullies just trying to justify their own behavior, or they fall into categories where they just want an excuse for this anyway. If I harass someone to the point that they harm themselves, it's their fault for letting them get to them. It's just bullies excusing bullying. I saw a similar trend regarding the entire drama ordeal that myself and some of my friends went through a few months ago here on YouTube, and there was a surge of comments that very much excused this kind of stuff, or it was trying to justify abusive behaviors and that kind of thing. You know, it very much goes into the kind of logic where,
oh, if you're actually a real man, this can't happen to you.
And number one, of course, it shows a complete lack of understanding of how controlling abusive situations actually do occur. They pretend like someone just wakes up one day and just gives up control of their life, when in reality it's a pretty long drawn out scheme that can typically last for years and very, very gradually and very precisely removes control very slowly and usually in the guise of generosity to begin with. And once you're in too deep, you've already invested a decent amount of cost in this, and they can hold that over your head to get you to do more and more tiny steps, because otherwise everything else will get ripped away. It's a very nasty strategy, and so many of these people have no fucking clue how that works, and it is upsetting. I was actually thinking about making a full video about this kind of stuff, a standalone video, because I think it's so important, and it is something that I see portrayed way too much, that is just like pooping on victims of various situations. And it's basically victim blaming galore with like a sprinkle of weird toxic Twitter alpha masculinity, which, like, fam, if you're actually, if you want to use the language of these actual people, if you are what you consider an alpha, if you actually want to use that language, which is ridiculous to begin with, you wouldn't feel the need to poop on people like this. A real person who is competent and confident and a leader figure and that kind of stuff isn't a bully. Like, Jesus Christ, man. But let me know in the comments if you'll be interested in that kind of video. I did start working on a script, but it's a bit more like serious, of course, than the stuff I usually do. So let me know if that will be interesting. It is a topic that I think is very important to talk about based on the trends I've seen recently and the lack of understanding and sympathy for these sort of situations. It's pretty wild.
I quit my teaching job and now make more bartending for 15 less hours a week. I also get blamed for way less and get told thank you way more. No lesson plans or grading papers. Remember this when people ask about the teacher shortage.
If this is actually so sad, it was one of the reasons I never pursued teaching myself. I really enjoyed it as a part-time thing, or like an extra thing while I was studying. But the sad truth is that career-wise, it wasn't it. You give up so much by picking it as a career, and while some people will do that for the passion they have for example, kids and that kind of stuff, 90% of people struggle to make such a compromise, and for good reason. So make sure to award jobs that we find important and that we want people to actually seek out. This makes me sad.
Once upon a time in the 50s, a family could own a home, a car, and send the kids to college, all on one income.
It's not even that long ago. Like, have you watched The Simpsons, for example? It's like one breadwinner in the family, and he's not like a CEO or anything either. Even the shows I used to watch as a kid are alien now. God damn it.
Normalize this in America, and we have a couple of girls walking around the store with just assault rifles.
America sometimes feels like it isn't really on the same planet, right? A friend forgot his laptop on the floor of my room. My grandmother thought it was a scale. Conclusion, she weighs $950? This could have been a funny pun if it was a different currency, like pounds. And then it's like, oh, she weighs this many pounds. Ha ha ha, get it? She doesn't actually weigh 2,000 pounds. That was just the cost of my fancy laptop, you know? You could have made a pun. It could have been a pun.
To me, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy man. Doesn't vape, doesn't smoke weed.
I mean, that can be fair. I mean, if you're a non-smoker, smoking stuff can be a deal breaker. Makes sense.
Doesn't get vexed.
Okay, here we go.
Doesn't watch adult naughties. Lifts weights weekly. Prioritizes his sleep. Eat lots of steak and eggs.
That's weird. I don't think I've ever had a partner try to, like, control my diet.
Doesn't drink tap water?
What?
Doesn't use AirPods. That's so specific. Would choose a podcast over music. Cooks with butter. Gah. What is gah? Tallow. Ew. Doesn't eat and drink out of plastic. Uses fluoride-free toothpaste. What? Doesn't douse himself in sunscreen.
Oh, this is so wild. Is this also the kind of girl who, like, goes on TikTok to sunbathe their butthole? It's not a good thing, fam. The skin in there is very, like, soft and sensitive. It's not made for UV exposure.
Doesn't wear aluminum deodorant. Wears 100% cotton underwear. Doesn't trust the government. Doesn't black out every weekend. Utilizes cold plunging and the sauna.
I mean, I like saunas. Okay, that's half a gold star, which gets nullified for all the other unhinged stuff.
Gets daily sunlight and grounding.
Oh yeah, they are. So just dig your hands down into the dirt and just put your butt up towards the sun. And there you go, all the nutrition you could ever need. Disclaimer. Don't actually do that and stuff, and this is, yeah, whatever.
Knows birth control is poison.
I mean, birth control can really mess with hormones. I wouldn't call it poison, but it can be pretty freaking bad.
Uses natural remedies when sick. Has some type of daily spiritual practice. Isn't stuck in a soul-sucking 9 to 5. Has hobbies and passions in their life.
Lists like this are so weird. Because the thing is that this falls into the same category as that unhinged Tinder profile, right? Why do you feel the need? I mean, some of this stuff is just unhinged, like anti-vaxxing and grounding and like, get out of here. But some of it just falls into this category where why do you feel the need to be so aggressive towards people that doesn't fall into your dating preference? That is very odd. You could have just said like, oh, looking for a non-smoker that I can take over the local gym with, #positivity, long walks on the beach, you know, that kind of vibe. Like selling your entire profile with negativity and aggressiveness. Probably in it.
Wanna wish everybody in the 4th Precinct a Merry Christmas, especially our captain. Hope you enjoy our homeless quilt. Sincerely, Panhandler Patrol.
Oh my god, they made a quilt out of like homeless signs. Why do police department post stuff like this and wonder why half the country hates them? Because bullies always think they're being funny. Bullies take power from people who have none, then say,
it's just a joke, lighten up.
Yeah, that really do be the vibe, isn't it? God damn it. Just a reminder, female cardinals are not red, they're brown. Therefore, if you have a Christmas card with a cardinal family and those 2 birds are bright red, congrats, you have gay cardinals.
Oh, that is so sweet and sneaky.
Oh, I love that.
Needing some new Christian-friendly positions for the bedroom.
What?
How do we do naughty things in a God-honoring way?
Girl, you're married now. The possibilities are endless. This is so strange. Is there a chapter in the Bible that talks about positions and stuff? You know, Kama Sutra kind of stuff? That's a part of the Bible I missed. What a shame. A woman apparently drew up this list for awards to encourage her husband to do household chores for her. The sad legacy of Skinner and Pavlov.
Naughty rewards. Wash dishes equals hand job plus put away?
Oh, wash dishes and put them away, okay.
Look after kids for a whole day. Includes feeding, doing nappies, and putting to bed. BJ. Hoover house. Touch fanny. Fold and put away washing. Kisses. Cook dinner and clean kitchen. Anything you want. 2 or more jobs in one day equals the deed.
But wait a second, wouldn't the second last one include the last one too? Anything you want doesn't include like third base? This is a really weird list. I'm also gonna be honest, it's such an odd thing to twist in a relationship because it kind of implies that intimacy is just a labor for one person in the relationship and something they can offer as, you know, their part of the weight scale in the relationship when the other one does chores. That's weird. I think both people should just enjoy it. No? That is odd.
Female serve zero purpose in the military other than naughty relief for the real soldiers.
Yeah, that reaction face kind of sums it up pretty well. David Duke 6969. Ooh, what a banger opinion, isn't it? You also know that the person writing this is probably like 12, you know? Or if they're older, it's even sadder. Congrats to my cousin and her new car. $360 a month for 84 months? That's like 30,000 bucks. I don't think that car is worth 30,000 bucks. 84 months! Holy crap!
For my love, cherished husband, dad, and adulterer. Yes, John, I know.
And so does everyone else who goes past this, I guess. Oh my.
At Rockstar Games releasing this naughty-liced video game for children in America, get hashtag ban GTA 6 trending right now.
I have seen this outrage trending a surprising amount and I don't get it. It isn't a children's game, it's literally rated M for mature. Why would you even get upset about this kind of stuff? It's a game called Grand Theft Auto. It literally has a history of involving like pretty adult topics and violence and that kind of stuff. It's rated M for a reason. What are you gonna ban like naughty websites because they're not child friendly? Like, you can't ban everything. This is very much the kind of vibe as you can't have a cookie because I am on a diet kind of vibe. It's really weird. Don't do this. You're being silly.
Glamorous Mississippi art teacher 27 is arrested for sending inappropriate pictures to a 16-year-old student. Busted when another child found out.
Glamorous Mississippi art teacher. That's a pretty generous synonym for the P word, isn't it? Nice. Alan Man busted with 58 terabytes of very bad naughty content. Do you all know how much a terabyte is? Throw him in the volcano. How do you even have that much storage space? Like my computer that is like outfitted for working with videos and editing and stuff that takes a lot of storage has like, what is it? It's like 6.5 terabytes. And that's a really chunky computer with a bunch of extra disks and stuff. 58 terabytes. We're talking like server-size stuff. Oh my god. Someone screenshotted one of my tweets and found the company I work for and sent it to them. It eventually ended up on the Director of Operations desk. Too bad that's me, Birch. I chose to not fire myself. Woo! I'm sad I haven't gotten any messages like these from like outraged people yet.
Oh my god, can you fire that click guy who's in the videos? He's annoying.
Yeah. That would be making my day.
The day my husband asks me to pay halves on rent is the day I pack my bags.
And go where? You can't even afford half rent. Choosing beggars much?
Europeans are poor and don't have unlimited texting like most US plans. They use WhatsApp instead of SMS.
But what? Huh?
Satan's son, drag boy dolly, a Satanist P-word, Adrian cum junkie. Yes, we have been fooled, born a man.
I swear to God, these people like we can always tell. They never tell. They never get it. It's like the bunch of like false positives even. It's absolutely astounding. I want to make an actual study about this, how often these people get it wrong. Because according to the stuff I see trending, at least, it's basically 100% of the time. It's really funny.
Careful, my husband is suspecting us.
Suspecting what? Do I even know you?
I'm her husband. You are now out of my suspects list.
What the frick?
I'm sorry, my husband was using my phone. Luckily, you haven't said anything.
What could I say? I don't even know you.
Oh, this is still her husband. I just wanted to confirm.
This is a pretty funny prank call, though. Not gonna lie. My credit card number is this. The expiration date is this. The security code is this.
Fake. All credit card numbers start with the same digit to identify the company they come from, and 6 is not one of them. But I changed it to a 4 and it worked, so thanks for the new toy, chump.
If you're gonna put out a troll tweet about like your credit card and stuff and like rage bait people into trying it, maybe you should at least switch more than like one number. No? That seems very stupid.
Don't make me get the vax if I don't have the disease. I don't make you use common sense because you can't think.
I would just like to point out the irony of this statement. You never get a vax for a disease you have. You get them so you never get the disease. Tweets like this are so funny because it proves that they just have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. It is very satisfying.
Kids these days have it a lot easier than we did growing up.
That's the goal though, right? Right?
According to some people, no, it's better if we go back to the coal mines, I guess.
I think it's much better when kids were working in the coal mines. glow believers, I'll be like, haha, look at this, we're like spinning in space. Yeah, and if the moon chasing us and we are chasing the sun, how does the moon pass between us and the sun perfectly during an eclipse? The sun would always be in front of us and the moon would always be behind us. What a flawed model.
What are you talking about? Like we're traveling forward at the same speed, you know, kind of, what do you mean in front? Or you can just like look up in the sky for an eclipse or something like that and see when it passes between, you know, or just simulate the orbits. I did this actually back in uni. I think we simulated like Kepler movements of planets and that kind of stuff. It was like first year programming math. So that's a thing. And yeah, no, these people are a bit confused, aren't they? Well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here. You wonderful and beautiful being. And I hope to see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.